Well, more bad news for Prince Harry. It looks like his multi-million-dollar war against the British tabloid is finally over because he just lost big in a stunning blow. A UK High Court judge has completely thrown out the massive privacy lawsuit brought by the Prince and a roster of A-listers, including Sir Elton John, against Associated Newspapers. This is the publisher of the Daily Mail. In 2022, the high-profile plaintiffs accused the outlet of a years-long campaign of illegal spying, alleging everything from phone hacking to the illicit bugging of their homes and cars. But in a sweeping written ruling, the judge rejected those allegations after determining there was insufficient evidence, stating, quote, suspicion, even understandable suspicion, is not proof. Associated Newspapers is hailing the judge's decision as an overwhelming victory. But for Prince Harry, it could be the end of his personal crusade to tame the British press, who he blames for the death of his mother, Princess Diana. And to make matters worse, for the Prince, he and the other plaintiffs, they could now be on the hook for a combined legal bill of up to $67 million. So joining me now for a closer look is entertainment correspondent Stefanie Jones. Stefanie, always good to see you. Are you surprised by this? Because these were very specific, serious allegations. Did they not just have enough evidence to prove it?
Hi, Jesse. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. And yes, you're right. These allegations are incredibly serious. I mean, Harry was suggesting the bugging of his telephones, personal homes, vehicles. He even said he felt his medical and personal records had been exposed. But obviously, in this case, the judge has said no, that, again, as you put it so eloquently, suspicion is not evidence, and it has completely been ruled out. So unfortunately for Harry, whilst he is absolutely furious, calling it a whitewash, which tells you he doesn't feel this is a legal loss, he feels it's a moral one. This is deeply personal, as you said, and I think he's obviously going to be seething and livid. And then on top of it, there is the financial aspect that you mentioned too.
Well, let's talk about that. That could be a big financial loss, $67 million. If he's ordered to pay that along with the other plaintiffs, where would he get the money? I mean, look, one thing I was thinking is he scored legal victories against the Daily Mirror, in 2023. There was a settlement in 2025 with The Sun. The money that he collected in that in damages, is that what's going to be used to pay off? I mean, does he have the funds to pay something out like this?
I mean, possibly that could be a source of funding for this. We do not obviously know. The money he received before obviously could help. But these costs are in a completely different league. Like you just mentioned, it's estimated to be around 67 million. That's an eye-watering amount of money, no matter if you've lived in castles or you're a pop star like Elton John or royalty. However, with this, it does not mean that the Elton John, Harry, or other claimants could be exposed to paying. They may have to pay a part of it. There will be some negotiations that are ongoing towards the end of the month. They're looking towards the end of July, but it doesn't mean that they're going to personally write one big giant check tomorrow. The cost will be argued in court. There will be an expected hearing.
By the way, we reported that there was a whole lot of drama back and forth about him coming to London and whether or not he was going to stay at Buckingham Palace. It was that he was going to stay, and then they said, well, he didn't let us know in time. There was a thought that the outcome of this case maybe is what motivated the royal family to say, I don't think you should stay here. You think that's anything to it?
You know what? I think the things with the royal family are decided far, far, far in advance. And it's not necessarily always the royal family's decision. We need to remember they are part of a much larger wheel, and a big machine. And there is many different elements at play, like the security, obviously the taxpayers' money, and whether or not they deem it appropriate for Harry to stay with them. And I think in this case, they simply didn't think it was the right fit, the right time, especially with all of this going on. I definitely think it's contributed to it. And it's a shame because you know what? Harry actually came over to the UK to try and celebrate the Invictus Games and work with charities. But this has obviously completely hijacked his visit.
Yeah, the whole Buckingham Palace drama, it's not great for him in the last couple of days, but you know, it's a very interesting development for Prince Harry and a very interesting saga. Stefanie Jones, thanks so much for seeing you. Thanks very much for coming on. It's good seeing you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.